So when we grip a golf club for a right-handed golfer, we kind of look at this lead hand or left hand first. And where we place it is very important. So the more I put the grip up in the palm and wrap my fingers over, the more I have what we call a weaker grip. The reason we term that a weak grip is it puts the wrist in a position where it's very difficult for it to set or hinge the club. So we don't really want the club in the palm. If I wanted to limit my wrist motion, put it in the palm. The only time you'd really do that is putting. So in putting, a lot of times we put it up in the palm because we don't want our wrists floating around. But when we're swinging a golf club, it's way more powerful and way better to get that grip down in the base of the fingers. So when I look here, I put it down in the base of the fingers and I hold it against this heel pad, not at the thumb pad. Some people make the mistake of putting it under the thumb pad. I want it under the heel pad like this, right? So it's just holding like there. The easy way to think about it is if you go pick up a suitcase, you wouldn't pick up a suitcase by putting it in your palm. You'd grab it with your fingers and you'd hold it against your heel pad. So that's a strong way when you got a heavy suitcase. Well, this club's moving at a great rate of speed. In some cases, it can be 120 miles an hour with a driver. You got to hang on for dear life. There's no such thing as a soft grip for those type of players. So grip strength is something we also look at. But when I'm looking at grip specifically, I would consider this kind of a neutral grip. I put it in my fingers, I wrap it and pull it against my hand, and you can see my thumb is just on this side or the back side of the club, right? And as a result, they often talk about this V created by my finger, upside down V, should point towards this shoulder, and I probably see a couple knuckles when I look down of this hand. However, that can differ a lot. And it can differ a lot because of the size of your palm, the length of your fingers, and even your own grip strength, right? And everybody's hands are different sizes. There are some players that have very weak grips. And a weak grip, again, is when it's more, they could still be in the fingers, but it's more when their thumb is on top of the shaft. And then there's players that have very strong grips where it's on the side like this. You see a lot of junior golfers that do this, and they start doing this because the club is actually too heavy and it just feels stronger if they put it in that position. So there are variations from having the thumb on the top to wrapping it all the way over the side. That would be super strong. Somewhere in the middle of that is more neutral with my lead hand. Now, you can be strong or weak with the trail hand. So sometimes you'll have a player that has a strong lead hand or left hand grip, and then they have a weak right hand grip, and they kind of counteract the two. There's all these forces going on as I swing the club that are trying to twist the face. So really, I'm trying to get the optimum grip that allows me when I swing this club to bring that face back to a square position. Most players, when they put the ball down or put the club down behind the golf ball, they're going to set up, and you want to feel like you're in a position where when I return to what we call the impact position, where that shaft is leaning a little bit further forward, that club face should be square. So, is there one way to grip the club? No, there's lots of ways to grip the club. But one of the easiest ways for me is to see how your arms hang. So a lot of times I get my players into an athletic setup position, like a down the line view like this, and I just let them get athletic. I look that they've got a nice neutral spine, and I look at how their arms hang. Some people's will hang more in, some people's will hang more this way. In fact, you'll see the golfer Adam Scott, who's got one of the most beautiful golf swings. A lot of times when he sets up, you'll see him let this arm hang down, and he'll actually put the club right in there based on how the arm is hanging. And then he'll straighten it up. And as a result, he's got a perfectly neutral grip. So allow your natural physique to set you where you should be. We can all do that. You can all get in a good setup position, let your arms hang, and wherever this lead hand turns, just slide the grip in there and then put it straight, and that'll tell you whether you are in a neutral grip, a weak grip, or a stronger grip. Now, there are a couple other factors too, and that can be based on the size of your hand. There's different sizes of these grips, right? So some are thin, some are thick. You get some really thick ones, and they can affect the way you move the golf club too. But a lot of those you feel more comfortable based on the size of your palm or the length of your fingers. So the best way to really tune in your grip is get yourself professionally fit. Find your Titleist fitter. Get somebody to fit you for equipment and get that grip on there properly. Make sure you got the right glove, make sure you got the right grip, and that will set you on your course to playing better golf.